What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 8th day of November in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. The leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Aubrey Norton, has announced that he is set to meet with the leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, soon to discuss issues of mutual interest. At a press conference today, Mr. Norton told reporters that he agreed to the meeting, but the date, time, and agenda are still to be set.
Recently, I have agreed with the leader of the AFC that we will meet. And I think we will pursue some form of coalition.
Norton said his party, the PNC Reform, will be pushing for a coalition ahead of next year's elections. But the party maintains that it must be reflective of the strength of the various political parties that form the coalition.
We believe coalition should reflect the strength of the political parties. And our approach is for coalition, but we are not naive to believe that we could just accept anything. We would want the coalition to reflect the strength of the political parties, reflect the strength of the Guyanese people, with the aim of being successful at the next elections.
The PNC Reform is the largest opposition political party in Guyana, followed by the Alliance for Change. In 2011, the PNC Reform, together with a number of other parties, including the Working People's Alliance, formed a partnership for national unity. In 2015, the APNU joined forces with the AFC to form a coalition, the APNU-AFC, under the Cummingsburg Accord. Together, they successfully contested the 2015 elections, unseating the People's Progressive Party Civic after 23 years in government. But after losing the 2020 elections, the AFC opted to not renew the Cummingsburg Accord. Weighing in on the issue earlier this week, the Working People's Alliance said it is important for the opposition to contest the elections jointly in order to defeat the ruling PPP. The government has already indicated that the Elections Commission needs to get ready for elections by August 2025. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch. Even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Are you ready for Guy Expo 2024? Join us from November 14 to 17 at the National Exhibition Center. Experience an exciting array of local products and services, live entertainment, delicious food, unique crafts, a dedicated children's zone, and so much more. The expo begins at 6 p.m. on November 14 and at 2 p.m. on the following days, and a special opening from midday on November 15 to accommodate our school children. Tickets are just $500. Children under 5 are free. Call 219-0087 or 219-0089 for more information, or visit guyexpo.gy. Guy Expo, Guyana on show, the fastest growing economy.
The South Rupununi District Council today fired back at the Guyana Gold and Diamond Miners Association over the association's rejection of the calls to halt mining in the Marudi Mountain area over a recent gang attack. The council today denounced the Guyana Gold and Diamond Miners Association, describing its response to the concerns of the community as callous dismissal. The SRDC is again calling on the government to immediately suspend all mining operations in the Marudi Mountain area until an appropriate community-driven mining plan is developed and agreed to by the affected communities. The Rupununi Development Council wants the government to intervene urgently, saying that the illegal mining activities in the area are posing serious threats to the safety and security of residents. Yesterday, the GGDMA described the call to suspend mining in the Marudi area as preposterous and nonsensical, explaining that such a decision would hurt many more Guyanese than it would help. But the district council said the citizens who live in the area are being violated and that their constitutional rights are being trampled on. According to the Rupununi District Council, last weekend's armed robbery and abductions were not an isolated incident. The body explained that over the past few weeks, there have been additional incidents of robberies, attempted robberies, and even an attempted trespass at a local guest house. The events, the council says, are a direct result of illegal and unregulated mining in the region, and the council is holding the government and the GGDMA responsible for allowing such threats to persist unchecked. The South Rupununi District Council said it stands firm in its position that the safety of the South Rupununi communities must take precedence over the economic interests of the mining sector. The group calls on the government to prioritize the protection of its citizens, especially those in vulnerable communities like theirs, over the pursuit of profit. The Rupununi Council said it demands that the government fulfill its constitutional and international human rights and obligations by ensuring that the communities have a say in all decisions that affect them. The council is also demanding a formal apology from the Guyana Gold and Diamond Miners Association for its dismissive and inhumane response to its concerns. According to the council, the disregard for the safety and rights of indigenous communities as displayed by the GGDMA is unacceptable and must be condemned. Turning our attention now to the oil and gas sector. In wake of the firing of 65 workers who were contracted for the gas ashore project without warning, the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union, through its oil and gas branch, is once again pressing for the union representation for workers in the oil and gas sector and related fields. The 65 workers were laid off from their jobs 5 months into their one-year contract. They complained that there was no information provided to them for the firing, with vague references to certain clauses in their contracts and the slowing down of work. In a statement, GAWU said the most recent layoffs is yet another indicator of the troubling labor situation and the apparent disregard for workers' rights and concerns in the oil and gas sector. The union said its advocacy is on the record in defense of the rights of all workers, and it has on several occasions emphasized the need for job security, transparency, and respect for Guyanese workers' rights and laws. The union explained that it had previously warned of the unfolding situation, which appears to have become more pronounced. It said the situation has raised alarm in the sector, and there are concerns over whether the short-term employment of locals is used as a means to meet thresholds set out by the Local Content Act. The union said it sincerely hopes that this is not the case, but cannot condone its Guyanese workers being treated as mere props to satisfy quotas. GAWU said the incident underscores the efforts of the union's oil and gas branch to advance union protection and recognition in the oil and gas sector, adding that local workers undoubtedly need a strong voice to safeguard their jobs and hold their employers accountable for fair treatment. The union is urging Guyanese to recognize the importance of their rights and to join with the union in advocating for stronger protections and decent employment. GAWU said it remains steadfast in its commitment to providing leadership, guidance, and representation for the workers in the oil and gas sector. And it continues to urge those who hold responsibility to ensure that compliance is not superficial, but translates into genuine, sustained employment for local workers.
The Guyana Elections Commission GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by December 31st, 2024 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Types of transactions. Anyone eligible for registration is required to visit the registration office responsible for his or her area of residence to apply for registration. Persons who are already registered could apply for a name change if they have changed their names since they were last registered. Apply for corrections if there is incorrect information on their national ID cards. Persons who are desirous of conducting any of the above transactions must provide the relevant supporting documents. Persons who are already registered could request that their photographs be retaken if the quality of the photographs on their ID cards is unacceptable. Collect their new ID cards if they have not done so as yet. This registration exercise will end on November 29, 2024. For further information, please contact GCOM on the following hotline numbers: 225-027729, 226-6557, 223-9650, or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
In the agriculture sector, with the sugar industry set to record another dismal performance this year, the agriculture minister is expected to provide a report on the state of the Ghana Sugar Corporation, GAWU, and the sugar industry to the president. On Thursday, Vice President Bara Jagdeo revealed that Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa was summoned by the President and ordered to submit a report on the state of the sugar industry, following consultations with the Guyana Sugar Corporation and the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union, along with other key stakeholders. In the report, the Agriculture Minister is expected to explain the significant drop in sugar production. As of the 26th of October, GAWU had only produced 24,711 tons of sugar, which represents less than 40% of its target for the year. The Vice President said while GAWU has assured the government that it will increase production through expanded cultivation and will produce between 60,000 and 70 tons of sugar this year, the new estimate is well below the initial target set.
Clearly that is below their target, so the Minister of Agriculture has to explain to the President why they're underperforming on their target, and to give credible explanation.
According to the Vice President, the report will also include updates on the push by GAWU to secure varieties of cane from Brazil and Cuba, information on the state of factories and required capital investments, mechanization, and human resource issues, including those with management. Mr. Jagdeo said the government is cognizant of some of the challenges facing GAWU.
Sugar workers have been they have been working very hard. A lot of things are stacked against them. When you have so much, you need to reorient almost the entire industry. I've seen the attempt to do so now in a major way. The conversion of the beds for mechanization, that requires a lot of capital input now, but will yield the benefits later. For mechanized harvesting and sowing, that has been done.
Earlier this week, the executive member of the Working People's Alliance, Dr. David Hines, said the government will have to make some tough decisions on the future of the sugar industry and GAWU. He said after injecting billions of dollars into the industry, the government may be too embarrassed to admit that the industry requires a complete overhaul, as detailed in the 2015 report of the Commission of Inquiry into GAWU. That report had recommended the amalgamation of the sugar estates, a recommendation that the now ruling PPP fiercely rejected. The Guyana Power and Light Company has cut the supply of electricity to sections of Peters Hall as the government begins to demolish the homes of some persons to facilitate the construction of the new Demerara River Bridge. In September, High Court Judge Navindra Singh granted the government permission to possess 3 properties by way of compulsory acquisition to facilitate the construction of the bridge. The government had compulsory acquired under the Acquisition of Land for Public Purpose Act some 50 private properties for the construction of the new bridge. However, in another court matter, Justice Jacqueline Josiah Graham blocked the acquisition for a number of the homes. Yesterday, residents told reporters that even though the matter is in court, the power company has cut their lights and the government has started the demolition of houses in the area. One man explained that his 2 elderly sisters, who are both ill, are severely affected.
A situation like that, it really got me in a situation how to think what we to do. Because I myself could move, but if somebody bedridden, it's a tight situation. So
did they consult you when they were coming to cut the lights or anything like that?
I went out to get some stuff because I got to work tomorrow. And by the time I come back, I saw places demolishing and trying to look and see the lights out. Because I was just about to charge this phone. And it's a situation that I can't really figure out what really happened. But God is in charge.
Randolph Lane, who has been living in Peters Hall for more than 15 years, explained that the house belonged to his deceased mother. He said without warning the lights were disconnected.
No, they didn't give no notice. They just come and cut the light.
How do you feel about that?
Terrible, because we got things in fridge. We got other things we use for electrical, all cut off. Suddenly, nobody notify us. And they come and cut the light.
The elderly man said affected residents were given 2 days to move. By tomorrow, they are expected to evacuate the area completely.
We gotta move. We have to move. I start pack up my things. I'm ready.
Under the Constitution, the government is required to pay compensation to the property owners equivalent to the market value of the properties acquired. One woman confirmed that she has been compensated for her property, but told reporters that she is very dissatisfied with the amount. The government had explained that since 2022, it began to negotiate the compensation package with each property owner. However, agreements were not reached with 13 property owners. It said the law is clear on the matter, explaining that once the properties are acquired and title is vested in the state is entitled to possession. Police investigators are probing the shooting of a 14-year-old boy late last night at Durban Park here in Georgetown. The teenager is a patient of the Georgetown Hospital, nursing a gunshot wound to his chest. According to a statement from the Guyana Police Force, the teen told investigators that at around 10:40 on Thursday night, he was in the Charlotte Street area in the company of a friend known as Ranks. When the friend approached a woman, pulled out a cutlass from his pants and robbed the woman of her handbag. The teen said he and the friend ran away from the scene as several persons chased after them. He claimed that his friend ran away and left him, and he ran in the direction of Durban Park, where he was apprehended by the persons who were chasing after him. The teenager said he was kicked and cuffed about the body. Then he heard a loud explosion, which was followed by a burning sensation to his chest. Other persons in the area summoned the police, and the 14-year-old was rushed to the Georgetown Hospital, where he was admitted with a gunshot wound to the chest. The police said his condition is listed as stable. Investigators have been making efforts to locate the friend that the teen told them about and the woman who was allegedly robbed. They have so far been unable to locate any of the two.
Are you ready for GAWU 2024? Join us from November 14 to 17 at the National Exhibition Center. Experience an exciting array of local products and services, live entertainment, delicious food, unique crafts, a dedicated children's zone, and so much more. The expo begins at 6 p.m. on November 14 and at 2 p.m. on the following days, and a special opening from midday on November 15 to accommodate our school children. Tickets are just $500. Children under 5 are free. Call 219-0087 or 219-0089 for more information, or visit GuyExpo.gy. Guy Expo, Guyana on show, the fastest growing economy.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. GAWU is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of GAWU's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. GAWU has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by December 31, 2024 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Where to apply for registration? You are required to visit the registration office that is responsible for the registration of persons in your area of residence to apply for registration. Office hours, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 12 hours, 13 hours to 16 hours 30, and Friday from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. This registration exercise will end on November 29, 2024. For further information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit the website www.gcom.org.gy.
What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Across the region tonight, let's begin in Antigua and Barbuda, where the government has decided to seek expert assistance from the British Police Scotland Yard to thoroughly investigate the deaths of a member of parliament and 2 young women. The cabinet said it held a lengthy discussion on the murder of Member of Parliament Asat Michael, an independent lawmaker who was found lying in a pool of blood inside his home on Monday. During the cabinet meeting, Attorney General Roy Benjamin reached out to the police commissioner in Antigua to inquire about any new developments in the ongoing criminal investigation. The police told the media that they questioned multiple individuals. In addition to the Member of Parliament's death, the cabinet also addressed 2 other suspicious deaths that have alarmed the nation. One case involves a 16-year-old whose body was discovered back in June in a wooded area. Her 2-year-old son had been found alone hours earlier, raising concerns about the circumstances surrounding the young woman's death. The other case is that of a 15-year-old whose body was found on a beach with her hand apparently severed back in August. The government in Antigua has enlisted Scotland Yard's expertise to get to the bottom of the disturbing cases. In Mexico, the remains of 11 people, including 2 children, have been found inside a vehicle in a southern Mexican city, which is besieged by violence. The grim discovery was made in the city of Chilpancingo, whose mayor was beheaded just last month, days after he took the job. The identities of the victims are not yet known, and the case is being treated as a homicide. Police were called to the scene after an abandoned pickup truck was reported to the authorities 2 nights ago. The truck containing the bodies was found on a highway in Acapulco, which was a destination for the rich and famous. The BBC reports that at least 6 candidates for public office were killed in the state in the run-up to Mexico's 2nd of June elections. Last month, the mayor was found decapitated less than a week after taking office. More than 450,000 people have been murdered and tens of thousands have gone missing across Mexico since the government deployed the army to combat drug trafficking in 2006. And finally tonight, international news. New floods have hit the region of Girona in northeastern Spain, sweeping away around 30 cars in one town. Videos posted on social media show a torrent of water gushing down the street and a pile of cars blocking a bridge earlier today. No casualties were reported in the latest round of flooding to hit the country. More than 200 people were killed last week, most in the Valencia area, in one of the worst floods in Europe this century. The disaster ignited intense anger at the authorities for not issuing emergency alerts sooner. Flooding in some areas this morning caused around 30 vehicles to pile up under a bridge. More potentially dangerous weather is expected in the region tonight. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight and this week. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to have a safe and enjoyable night and weekend.